Well, Happy New Year.
Hi,
Can you
everybody.
believe we're walking in, we are reading into the 5th year of this book club. Can you believe it?
Yes and
I,
no. Yeah.
I feel like we have only read like 1 year, maybe two, but it's been five.
Yeah.
5
Busy.
years. Well, this will be the 5th year. So we've read 4 years worth of books.
Hmm.
That's crazy. And the majority of us have been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
That's insane. I'm so proud of us. I'm
I know.
so proud of us.
And thank you all for
Uh
being here with us, too.
yes. So, hi Mary.
Hi, Mary.
So nice to see you. Uh Mary's been here since the beginning. We're
Hmm.
just saying Happy New Year and can't believe we're walking into the 5th year of our book club. It's
Hmm.
crazy. So exciting. Andy's here.
Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Um I'm excited. I'm really excited for another year of reading. I really am. I think I'm most excited about this year because we have a theme,
Hmm.
and Laura knows me, and some of you who may have gotten the hints, I love themes. Like
Hmm.
every birthday of my kids, I make a themed birthday part. I'm a theme person. I love themes. So I'm very excited. Laura, do you want to tell everybody, remind everybody, maybe if you're new and you're just joining us and you're wanting to know what we're doing this year for book club, Laura, do you want to kind of tell everybody what we're doing this year?
Sure. So this year, our book club runs as always January through November. So we get December off to have a breath, try and finish things. This year, we have a theme for the first time ever, really, and that's decades. So this January is really 5 years, 2020 to 25. Danny and I picked titles and everybody voted. So every month after this month, it will be a decade. So next month is 2010s. We'll be talking through the titles very quickly here, things you can vote on. Then it's 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, 70s, all the way back to the 1920s. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting and interesting to see what the heck we find to read as it gets to like the 30s.
Yeah.
What's still in print?
Yeah.
Accessible for everybody. That's the hard part.
Well, I'm very excited for that. Before we get into our titles, just a few housekeeping items, especially if you are new here. We like to keep things really nice and easy. We don't expect everyone to like the books that we're reading, so we have no expectation of anyone forcing themselves to read. So if you feel at any time throughout the year that a book is not for you, you do not feel like you need to start it, don't start it. If you start the book and you feel like, oh, I don't think I can finish this, don't finish it.
Mhm.
Our expectation of you is to have fun and enjoying what you're reading. And then there are so many books out there. You don't want to waste your time on a book you don't like. So our book club, we do not hold the expectation or have you feel the obligation to read or finish any of these books. These are just the books that we happen upon. And myself and Laura sometimes decide, I don't think I can finish this book.
Yeah.
One of us decidingly chooses to continue because we are the moderator. So we want to make sure that one of us is able to complete the story and discuss it. But we do still hold that for ourselves as well, because no one should have to read a book they don't want to read. Also, throughout the year, we do all of our reading sprints on the first Tuesday of the month. And then we do all of our live discussions for the chosen book on the last Tuesday of the month. Now, there may be some schedule changes throughout the year depending on what's happening, so just stay tuned for those. But pretty regularly, it'll be the first Tuesday and the last Tuesday. And then as far as anything else, we do have a Voxer group. That's pretty casual. There's nothing crazy on there. It's usually some jokes and little chatter. But if you're interested in joining that for the time that we aren't going live, you can certainly let us know. You can put your Voxer handle in our discussion. You can DM us privately. However you'd like to get in touch with us, we just need your handle, your username in Voxer, and then I can add you to the group chat. Other than that, I don't think I missed any housekeeping things. Nope. Did we? Anything else? Okay. On the side of that, semi-housekeeping, we are actually also business owners of an Etsy shop. So that's kind of where this all stemmed from, right? So we do have our Etsy shop with the same name, DoubleBookedCo, and that is something that we run pretty regularly. New products here and there, and we do share those with you. And usually a little bit of sneak peeks. So before we get into our February book picks, we are going to share with you 2 new products that we're putting up on our Etsy shop. I think on Friday they'll be live. So I'm just going to show you those. Before I do, I want to say hi to Cool Gamer. Hi. Welcome back. It's been a little while. Nice to see you. I hope that you are having a happy new year and are looking forward to some good reads this year. So anywho, okay. So we have 2 new products, like I mentioned. One is a physical product and the other is a digital product. And again, both of these will drop in the shop on Friday. The first being a brand new created bookmark. So we created this here for our shop. You'll only see the and it's a book, Spring's First Heartbeat Honors Winter's Last Breath. And that is a quote by Angie Wieland Crosby. And it's a lovely bookmark that has kind of like winter coming into spring. And the back just has kind of like a purple floral pattern. I know the camera is not really picking up the color very well, but it's like a light lavender. And then those are going to be sold on in our Etsy shop on Friday. So feel free, those will be available. And then the digital product, for many of you, will be tracking your reading. And we thought it would be fun to do so with a reading tracker. So this is just the instructions. So I've printed this out, but again, this is going to be a digital product. So you won't receive anything from us in the mail. This will be something that you'll be able to print at home, and you can print several copies if you'd like. But what this is it's a reading tracker. And then if you're familiar with our shop, we have what we call Color Me bookmarks. So it's 2 in 1. So we have tracking. So these are color sheets, and I've printed mine on cardstock so that it's a little bit more durable. You can print it on whatever you would like, as it is a digital product, so you'll be able to do this at home. So this is 25 books for 2026. So say, for instance, that you have a goal of 25 books. You can color these in as you go to track your reading. We also have one for 50 books here. And then we have 100 books. So 100 books. So if your goal is 150, you can do both. If your goal is 200, you can print this out twice, so on and so forth. Now, again, those Color Me bookmarks, we have one for 25, one for 50, and one for 100. So you can go ahead and cut these out and use them as bookmarks while you're reading, color in the books as you go, and you can even laminate them at the end of the year so you can keep them forever. We also have a printout so you can make your own. So something fun for you to do. Maybe you have a little one in the house and they have reading goals. Maybe they're have, like, I remember we always used to do it for Pizza Hut, so you get a personal pan pizza. But just something fun. But that'll be a digital product for you, and that'll be available on Friday. And I'll put the link in for our shop. It's in the description of this video, but I'll put it in our chat link as well. So anywho, thanks, Mary. I appreciate that. We do what we can. We have bouts of creativity from here to there. So It does a nice job every once in a while. Anywho, switching back to book club stuff, let's talk about our picks for February. Now, Laura, you mentioned that now we are into the teens for 2000. So like from 2010 to 2019 is the like span of time that we kind of were picking from.
Yep. Yep,
Okay.
these were all Allie's choices, so she sent in some titles for us. And I'm going to go from biggest to smallest, just so you know. First up is a quite chunky book. It's The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. She big, she thick. It has an arc, and the arc is 771 pages, so it's not small. Let's see here. It begins with a boy. Theo Decker, a 13-year-old New Yorker, miraculously survives an accident that kills his mother. Abandoned by his father, Theo is taken in by the family of a wealthy friend. Bewildered by his strange new home on Park Avenue, disturbed by schoolmates who don't know how to talk to him, and tormented above all by his longing for his mother, he clings to the one thing that reminds him of her, a small, mysteriously captivating painting that ultimately draws Theo into an underworld of art. As an adult, Theo moves silkily between the drawing rooms of the rich and the dusty labyrinth of an antiques store where he works. He is alienated and in love, and at the center of a narrowing, ever more dangerous circle. The Goldfinch is a novel of striking narrative energy and power. It combines unforgettably vivid characters, mesmerizing language, and breathtaking suspense while plumbing with a philosopher's calm the deepest mysteries of love, identity, and art. It is beautiful. Stay up all night and tell all your friends triumph. An old-fashioned story of loss and obsession, survival and self-invention, and the ruthless machinations of fate. So we have The Goldfinch, which is also a movie. Then next up, we have Late in the Day by Tessa Hadley. And, deckled edges. Okay. I don't like it. Alexander and Christine and Zachary and Lydia have been friends since they first met in their 20s. 30 years later, Alex and Christine are spending a leisurely summer's evening at home when they receive a call from a distraught Lydia. She is at the hospital. Zach is dead. In the wake of this profound loss, the three friends find themselves unmoored. All agree that Zach, with his generous, grounded spirit, was the irreplaceable one that they couldn't afford to lose. Inconsolable, Lydia moves in with Alex and Christine. But instead of loss bringing them closer over the following months, the three find that it warps their relationships as old entanglements and grievances rise from the past, and love and sorrow give way to anger and bitterness. Late in the Day unravels the complex webs at the center of our most intimate relationships, exposing the infinite alternate configurations that lie beneath the seemingly dependable arrangements we make for our lives. Ingeniously moving between past and present and through the intricacies of her characters' thoughts and interactions, Tessa Hadley once again crystallizes the atmosphere of ordinary life in prose, somehow miraculous and natural. And this is roughly 270 pages.
So like 500 pages less than the last book.
Yes, almost exactly. Mm-hmm. And the very last one we have is Liane by Max Porter. There is a village an hour from London. It's no different from many others today. One pub, one church, red brick cottages, some public housing, and a few larger houses dotted about. Voices rise up as they might anywhere, speaking of loving and needing and working and dying and walking the dogs. This village belongs to the people who live in it, to the land and to the land's past. It also belongs to dead Papa Toothwort, a mythical figure that school children used to draw as green and leafy, choked by tendrils growing out of his mouth, who awakens after a glorious nap. He is listening to this 21st century village, to its symphony of talk, drunken confessions, gossip traded on the street corner, fretful conversations in living rooms. He is listening intently for a mischievous, ethereal boy whose parents have recently made the village their home, Liane. This chimerical, audacious, strange, and brilliant novel will enrapture readers with its anarchic energy, with its bewitching tapestry of fabulism and domestic drama. Liane is a ringing defense of creativity, spirit, and the generative forces that often seem under assault in the contemporary world, as it solidifies Porter's reputation as one of the most daring and sensitive writers of his generation. And this is 210 pages. And it's got gaps in it too, if you can see this. It's not like straightforward, solid text, you know? So it is shorter still. So there you go. 3 very different books of 3 very different lengths for February.
Awesome. So we will be posting that poll. I'll do that in our first sprint. So that'll be in our YouTube community tab. So you'll be able to go over there and place your vote. And then that goes until, I believe it's the 19th is the last day to vote. So you'll see these available. Like I said, in the first sprint, I'll go ahead and create that poll. So you'll be able to vote for that. And then there'll be a reminder on Instagram and so probably Voxer. If you're in Voxer, I'll put a reminder in there too. But yeah, but I think it's like a good 2 weeks to think about it and look at what you're reading. I know I own one of these books. I've never heard of one of these books, and I've wanted to read one of these books. So I won't tell you which one is which, but anywho. Okay. So that being said, since it's the new year, Laura, are you like excited? Do you have a bunch of challenges, a bunch of things ready for the new year for reading?
Of course. I told myself I wouldn't do any more than I had last year, and I think I added on 4 different challenges. So I think I'm up to 8 challenges every month.
Every month.
Yeah, I'm delusional. Like, I know I'm delusional, and that's okay. But I'm going to try. And I know one of the ones I've joined, I've been in for, I think, 4 or 5 years, however long they've had it, is Book Naturalists. That's reading science and nature writing, nonfiction mostly, some fiction too. This year, they're reading newer books published within the last 5 years, and I don't own a lot of titles, and my library system doesn't have a lot of them either. I think a couple of them, I looked ahead, and they're, I don't know if they've published in the States necessarily, so I'd have to order from the UK, which is fine. So I might not finish that one like completely. It might be just like a halvesies job. But yeah, I have way too much on my plate because I like planning stuff and I like joining challenges and I like finding just the right book for the right prompt, you know? Way too satisfying. So yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the last several years, probably since my kids have joined me, I really have just not been doing much of anything. Like, I do our book club book, and like beside that, I've just been a mood reader for the last couple of years. And at the end of last year, I just really got like a little bug, and I was like, I want to do like a lot of things. Now, I'm not joining anything by any means. I'm just like creating challenges for myself. Just because I feel motivated to do something more structured like I used to. I mean, I used to have TBRs and like a whole bunch of different things. So it's not necessarily joining other people's challenges or read-alongs or readathons or anything like that. But I have like in my mind, I'm like, I want to do this, this, and this. I know you and I have some buddy reads. That we are going to be doing. And then like I have a couple in my head that I really want to try to do. So far, I have been reading quite a bit. I've been reading every day at least. I haven't finished anything yet, but that's because I am reading like 4 different books. So there's that. But yeah, no, I'm excited about the year. And obviously it's the beginning of the year, so we're the most excited right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, getting into everything and just getting started. And yeah, so have you started our book club book?
No, I haven't. I think I'm going to save that for the weekend. to start it then, because I really like give myself a lot of time to get into it. The last time we read her book, I've only read her the one time before when we read Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
It took me like 50 or 60 pages to like pay attention to what was happening and get a hold of things.
Yeah.
And we're going to have too short of sprints tonight. I know my concentration is going to be that. So I have not started yet, but I will soon. But I know that you have started and you're pretty far into it.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Pretty far in. Since we haven't even mentioned it yet, for those of you who may not know or did not see the thumbnail, we are reading Liane Moriarty's Apples Never Fall. And it is a chunky book. I mean, all of her books are chunky like this, but I feel like they just get there, for me at least, you hit a certain moment where you all of a sudden it's like going downhill, like full bore. So I do feel like it's a little slow going. I feel like you're getting to know a lot of characters in this, like from their own point of view. So that's really like seemingly hard to follow. Like I'm doing okay, but I think because I'm listening and reading at the same time, that's pretty helpful. So for anyone who's starting to read this, totally get it if you're like, wow, this is a lot. But I promise you, from reading her, I've read a lot of Liane Moriarty. Like you hit your stride mid book. But again, like I said before, if you find that you're like, I'm really just not into this isn't my type of story, this isn't my type of timeline or whatever reason, you don't have to justify it. Please don't feel like you need to read the book just to read it for us. If you feel like it's a DNF or a non-start, that's okay.
Yeah, we've always encouraged DNFs highly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially for our reading sprints, like Laura said, she's not going to read our month book. I'm going to be listening to it and actually working on some DoubleBookedCo stuff. But feel free, read whatever you would like during our reading sprints. Speaking of which, Laura, what are you going to read during reading sprints?
I don't know. I don't know. I would like to finish up some books I've not finished from last year. I really want to be the kind of person who can like finish a book at the end of the year and start the year next year fresh. I am just not that lady. I am a dribbler, like carrier over extreme. So I think I have 6 books, which is not that many for me, but 6 books with bookmarks in. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I just filmed my January TBR today, and there are a lot of books on that. So I could start some one of those. I don't know. I'm probably going to pick up a lot of things before
there you go. You froze a little bit there.
I just said I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up a lot of stuff and see something will stick eventually.
There you go. It looks like Andy is a few chapters in. Sick all day. Oh,
I'm sorry. It's so
well, if you do fall asleep, we'll say it now, but good night, sweet dreams. Hope you feel better. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, there's some crap going around.
Oh, Goldfinch was really good. We figure, you read most of the books we happen to get on our list, so you're a hard one to get past. Mary DNF'd.
Okay.
No worries. That's good. You gotta use your time wisely, and there are better books for you out there. There's how many books published every month? You don't want to waste your time. Good. Okay. Well, we're at about the 25 mark for chatting. So let's go ahead and get a reading sprint in. Now, if you've been with us before, we kind of are pretty cool on the 25-minute sprint. Are we still thinking we're going to carry that over into this year?
Sure. That's
okay. Quickly before we do that, Mary is going to be reading Early Snow by Kevin Wolfe. It's an arc that the publisher asked for the reader to do. Very nice.
Excellent.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
You'll have to let us know if it's any good. Okay. So we'll do 25 minutes. Will bring us to the 50. I'll put a little thing on the screen here. Laura and I are going to mute ourselves so you don't hear me clicking away. I'm going to put that poll up. And I'll pick in nice little music or ASMR or something to read with us today. Do you have any preferences, Laura?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'll find something good. Okay. Well, good luck, everybody. Happy reading.
I have to go back out. I have to back out of this, and I'll come back in just a second, Jenny, just so you know.
Sounds
I'll
good.
be back in like 30 seconds.
Okay. Or unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry.
Get dark away. That first sprint. How did everyone do? Looks like Mary, 19 of 178 pages read. Good for you. It's an excellent start.
Mm-hmm. What did you get done, Danny?
Got one chapter read. Looks like it just started the second, or I'm just in the beginning of the next chapter. So I was on chapter 21. So I got chapter 21 read. And it's funny because so Liane Moriarty is a Australian writer. So most of the stories take place in Australia with Australian characters. So rightly so, the narrator has an Australian accent. And some of the words are pronounced differently. So like aluminum, how we would say aluminum is aluminium.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
aluminium or something like that. And it catches me every time because it's been mentioned like 3 times now because it's not crucial to the story, but like it's just funny when they say it. And actually, because sometimes I read it and follow along in the book, there was a portion where a like headache medicine was mentioned, and on the audiobook it was like acetaminophen, or wasn't acetaminophen, it was like some other like really long, yeah,
paracetamol.
but in the book it was ibuprofen. I was like, why did they change? Like, I get that I hear that word a lot more with British people and just, UK people. But I'm like, why would they change that in the book? That's so weird. So it's kind of fun to see little things like that. I also am just about finished making more of our bookmarks. So if you saw from before, so now we have more than just the one done. So that's what they look like in multiples. So I did that. And I got our poll up.
Nice.
So our poll is up on our community tab. So you are able to go and vote on our February picks. So yeah, I got that done. Pretty good. Looks like Andy got up to chapter 6. So very good. How are you liking it so far, Andy? Have you read this one before?
I always assume she has.
Yeah. How did you do?
Pretty good. So I picked up The Sixth Extinction by Elizabeth Colbert, which is not cheery reading, but it's very interesting. I don't know how many pages I read. I read a couple of chapters. And there are illustrations, so that does help. I got like 45 pages read. Yeah, so the paragraph I finished, or essay I finished, chapter, whatever, chapter, was about the great auk, which is the original penguin. It was like 3 or 4 feet tall. And then the next chapter was about ammonites, which those fossils that are all like miniature nautiluses, essentially. All the different kinds that used to exist and where they came from and all this stuff, who lived, when and where, who survived. And now I'm reading about, it's just called Welcome to the Anthropocene. So it started out talking about the Ordovician, I'm not sure how you pronounce that period of time, and the things that survived and what didn't survive there. They were looking in Scotland for samples of some of these, I just passed a picture of one. Graptolite fossils. They look like this. Like they're really small, but they whatever. And now they are talking, a few pages later, they're talking about rats and how rats they think might take over the world at one point, and how different they can be in different sizes and different breeds that have wiped out like plant life and turtles and all this stuff on different islands throughout the world from all over kinds. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, so it's all about different extinctions and essentially how humans cause most of them. So, yeah, interesting. This was December's read, and I did not finish, obviously.
For the naturalists.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, a book like that, I would never be able to get through.
Yeah.
I would not be able to focus, but I would love a documentary like that.
Yeah, she's a really nice author. She won the Pulitzer. I don't know if it's for this book or a different book, but very accessible reading, even though she's a super smart scientist. It's not, it's down to a readable level for most people, you know. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah.
Looks like Andy has not read our book
Okay.
yet, but she said so far so good.
All right, good.
Speaking of awards for books, it's funny. So, my brother, well, I have three brothers, but one of my brothers is currently deployed overseas, and I had sent him some books for Christmas. And when he got them, he called me and, thanked me or whatever. And we were kind of talking about the books that I had found for him. And one of them, I can't remember what the title is. I think it was like, I don't know. But it's a Civil War narrative. I'm assuming it's about a boy who becomes a soldier, yada yada. Because he likes that kind of stuff. His favorite book is Johnny Tremaine by Esther Forbes, I believe is the author. And so he goes to me, which I am not laughing at the fact that he likes these books. I'm laughing at the fact that he came to me and was like, "Did you know?" And I'm like, "Of course I knew." Like, "Do you know who you're talking to?" But anyways, he goes, "So do you know there's like awards for books?" And I'm like, mm-hmm. I think I said it just like that. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, "Yeah. Have you ever heard of the what is it? It's the Newberry, something like that." And I'm like,
God.
uh-huh. Yeah, I think so. And he's like, those are kids' books. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, those are like all the books I like to read. I read kids' books. I laugh so hard. I'm like, listen, they're very good books. That is why they win awards. And I said, and a lot of them are a lot more sophisticated than what you're thinking is a kid's book. I said, especially the older ones, like Johnny Tremaine. No middle grade kid is reading that nowadays and going like, yeah, that was fun.
Right. Like, what's this?
So it was a very funny conversation because I said to my brother, I said, I love middle grade books. They are so good and they can be read by anybody. I said, so don't worry. I said, they're good books. You should be happy that you're enjoying something you're reading. I said, don't worry about it because he had saw that the book that I gave him was also a Newbery. I don't know if it was a winner or a nominee, but he that's what prompted him to say something because he's like, because I had given him another one. But again, it was written a long time ago. So the way in which people wrote for that level, that reading level, is much different than it is now. Not saying that it's like, it's just different. We talk different now. We engage, we converse differently. So yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. But I was like, yeah, did you know that books get awards? I did not know that. Yeah. Okay.
It'd be like if you said to him, "Hey, did you know that there are different kinds of guns?" Like, did you know that? Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know. But I just, you just sit there and you're like, uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, tell me more. Tell me more. I wouldn't find that book unless it was mentioned during a documentary. Yeah. I think that's the fun thing about reading, though, is there's literally probably a book about anything. So it's just kind of finding it.
Yeah.
I try really hard not to get, drawn into all the hype, but sometimes it's inevitable. Um, I saw a different influencer. I don't know, I don't follow them, but they just popped into the algorithm. You know how that goes. And they were like, things we're not going to do in 2026. And they rambled off a bunch of things, which were very funny. But one of them was, we're going to stop reading book talk recommendations. Throw it away. They're terrible. They're terrible books. Nothing from book talk. Nothing. And then she goes on to be like, now, understandably, you probably saved Barnes & Noble because, I mean, Barnes & Noble, Target, like all these different places that sell books, like have whole sections that are book talk, like recommendations. And they're like, I've read book talk recommendations like, oh, back when I was naive. And they are terrible. I'm like, who is recommending these books? They're so bad. And I'm sorry, but the fact that they are all available on Kindle Unlimited should tell you that. Like, they're not that good. Like, not that I'm not trying to insinuate that all of the books on Kindle Unlimited are bad, because they're not. Mm-hmm. But like, if they're all free, you should probably take a moment to think about that. So I've fallen down some rabbit holes where I'm like, what is this? Why am I here? So yeah, I'm gonna take your advice, and I think I'm gonna like stop with the book talk recommendations.
Yeah. All the book talk books I have read way before they were popular on book talk, like Song of Achilles. I read that years ago. And then it, 2 years ago, got really big on book talk, and it stayed fairly popular. But still, I just happened to read those books, and then later on,
Well, I think there's a difference between. Yeah, I think there's a difference between booktube recommendations and book talk recommendations. Mm-hmm. Like the stuff that they're just like quick reels and like little gimmicky things on book talk, like on TikTok book talk. What are they recommending? Booktube's like good. I mean, there's always going to be stuff that's like not good, but like I think on BookTube, there people are spending a little bit more time. Like, the people we know. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be someone that's not actually reading the books. But yeah.
I've started following a lot of guys on BookTube lately that just read a lot of history books, which is nice. I see guys reading fantasy, and I'm like, I watch so many people that read a lot of fantasy. I'm not really a fantasy reader. I mean, I read it, but it's not my go-to. But I found quite a few guys that are reading a lot of nonfiction, and it's not guys that are older either. It's guys in like their 20s and 30s.
Yeah. So really there's been a huge wave. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'd like to see this, what they're talking about,
Yeah, so, there's a few guys that I don't know what their names are. I've started to see them in my algorithm, and it's refreshing. I'm like, oh my gosh. And because they just have a different, like everyone has a different walk of life, so they have a different perspective. So I have seen a few, especially, and they're younger guys who are starting to talk about like classics, and that's like right up my alley. I'm like, oh man. And so it's been fun to like see new creators out there that are not what you're used to as far as like seeing out there. But yeah, it's World Wide Web, man. We're out there. There's a lot of us. It's fun.
There are.
Yeah. Yep. I had a thought there and I lost it. It was something we were talking about, and now it's gone. Common.
Mm-hmm. Keep happening too as you get older.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, because it's like I know that I used to be able to like, oh, right there, I got it. Nope. Now it's just like just empty space. It's like a desert plain. Nothing happening up there. Anywho, so that we chatted about awards. Have you completely like not going to do BookTube prize at all ever again?
Until my mom is gone, I won't have the brain power for it. I just realized I won't. I think when I do it again, I would like to do fiction instead of nonfiction. I did nonfiction twice and did fiction once. And I find it easier to push through a fiction book than a nonfiction book. Weirdly, I thought it was the other way around, but it really isn't. And it's so varied, which is great. I have read a lot of really great books that I found because of the BookTube prize. But there's too many things I want to read. I joined too many challenges, as we mentioned earlier, and I just don't have the brain power for a lot of that stuff to really like pay attention to a lot of stuff that I'm unfamiliar with and genres I'm unfamiliar with by new authors that do experimental stuff, which is all great and good, but it's just, I don't have the brain power for it. So yeah, I'm just taking an extended break for a while. Yeah. Would you ever do that?
The time that I did it, I did a mix.
You do it once. Yeah.
Yep. So I did it, and it was a mix. So it was like you got fiction one time, then the next time you got nonfiction, and the next time I think you got fiction again, and then I don't know how many rounds there were. 4. I just know it was a lot of books. And I think for me, the hardest thing, and this is going to sound really bad, the hardest thing is when you read a category and the way that it is then when it comes out of that category, like the voting is completely opposite of how you felt about the books. Like it makes you feel like you failed, like it was a test and you failed it. And I know that's not what it's about, because obviously we all read differently, but like for me, I was just like, how did that one win out of that category? That was my least favorite book of the whole thing. So then it made me like read, like, am I reading wrong? Like, so it was too much pressure for me in the sense of like, not that I was trying to like vote with the masses, but I just felt like I was getting upset with what was winning. Like it was upsetting me, because I was like, that was not that, like this other one was so much better and had so much, like, especially in the nonfiction, because of the causes that the books surround themselves with. It was like, why are you not, like, this one needs more, like, bring this one up. And so it was really annoying me. Plus, I can't with my kids right now. That would be too many books to read. Not that, I mean, I read a lot of books, but like, I feel like you really do have to give a lot of brain power to, because you want to make sure you're reading it and you're like really into it, and that you're paying attention, and that you're fulfilling the deadlines. And so, I mean, I maybe would, but I think for me, I would probably do only nonfiction.
Yeah.
Because like, I liked the nonfiction more, so I felt like I was learning stuff, and I didn't really like a lot of the nonfiction. Like,
I think you.
And the categories that I had huge books. Like I had the Obama book, I had the Sylvia Plath book, and those were both like 800-page books. I'm like, why is this in this? Like, it's a lot of reading.
Yeah, there's always a few in both categories that are like 700 plus pages always. And
so big.
It was like, oh, I can't. Like,
yeah,
I just can't.
Yeah. So, anywho, yeah, I just think about that with like challenges.
Yeah.
But you know who it's not the BookTube prize, but you know who I was really surprised? The Booker prize? Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh yeah.
Reads for that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I saw something online where she was talking about her like doing that. And I was like, I never would have imagined that she read for that. Not because she can't.
Yeah, just this last year she did.
Yeah. But because of all of the projects she's involved with. Like, where do you find the time? to read all those books. And she explained how she needs to be like, she reads them. Like, I'm like, where does she find the time? Because I mean, she's involved with a lot of stuff. She still has that Sex and the City show. Like, I'm like, where do you find the time?
Well, she also has her own imprint too, her publishing imprint that started a few years ago. So she's been reading it in the reading space for a few years, getting more involved. And then they asked her to join last year for the Booker to be a reader.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love that for her. I love that for
Yeah.
us. But like, yeah, when she was talking, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm just a little old me. You like really work hard all day long. When do you find time to read?
Right, but then she also
So,
probably has help with kids, and they're older. Her kids are a lot older
yeah,
now, and her husband's around to like help stuff, and he doesn't have a traditional schedule, so he's got more time off in chunks, when he's not doing shows and things. So it's
I
different.
suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Your husband works swing shifts. He's all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's about that time. Let's do another sprint. We'll keep to our 25 rule. And so we'll do it so that it's on the 5. So that's 15. Adding 25 is 40.
Okay.
So we'll come back at the 40. I'll put that. Was that ASMR okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll just keep that one on. And yeah, so we'll get to reading. I'm gonna finish up these last 2 bookmarks and keep reading myself. I really wish I had snacks down here. I have my drinks, but I don't have any snacks.
Go up, grab some.
I don't want to because I don't know what I want, and then I'm just gonna stand there, and so I'll think about it. Maybe I'll get one in the next one.
Yeah. 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 You should.
I don't really know what I want. So,
Mm-hmm.
anywho, let's get to reading. How did everyone do?
Good. How'd you do?
I'm up to chapter 24. And the last chapter was really hard. Like, not hard, but like, if I was in that situation, like,
Yeah.
it's like a family situation. Like, it sucked listening to it. Family dynamics is definitely a huge theme in this book, as there are 4 children and they're adults. So, like, you know, obviously everyone has their perception of how their life went. Looks like, and we got to chapter 11. It's awesome. How did you do? Are you in the same book or did you switch books?
I switched. I got depressed. So I got about 20 pages read. I read the chapter on, essentially, I finished this chapter on the Anthropocene, how it got named and everything. And then I read the chapter on the acidification of the ocean and how that's so dangerous and scary and could happen in 100 years. So, you know, and then I started reading the one about corals, the next one about corals and coral reefs and coral polyps. And I got to mad. So I stopped. So I only got 20 pages in that. And then I switched to Mid-Georgian Britain, this little Shire living history book. These are my first books, generally speaking, because they're full of illustrations and each chapter is like 10 pages long or less. And it's great if you're in public waiting for like a doctor's office or whatever, because you can pick it up and drop it like at any point and it doesn't matter, you know, like it's just easy. So I probably got another 10 in here and I've just got a few pages left and then this will be done. So yeah.
Looks like Mary got to page 30.
Nice.
Keep on trucking. It's looking good. It's looking good. So I know we kind of talked about what we're reading and you're trying to close up a few loose ends from last year, but do you have anything that you're currently reading that's new for the year?
The only new one I've started is People Who Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry.
Yep.
For it.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. I'm not liking it so much so far. I'm only like 30 pages in. I mean, it seems predictable. I don't know. So that's the only thing new. It's fine. I mean, if it gets more than a 3.5, I will be shocked. I mean, this seems like a 3 or less. But yeah, so far that's it. How about you?
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going. So I have our book club book.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am reading Words of Radiance, which is the second book of the Stormlight Archive, by Brandon Sanderson. So I'm 30% in that, and that I'm listening to. So that's an audiobook. I'm enjoying that. I am so happy. I know last year I tried again because you and I originally tried to read with the bigger group and like got 300 pages in of Way of Kings, and I was like, I'm out. Like, I can't do this. I don't understand what's happening. I don't get this world. I don't. So then last year I started reading a bunch of other Brandon Sanderson things. I started a little bit in, I wouldn't call them lighter things, but lighter.
Secret Project book, right?
Yeah, I started with the secret projects. Then I got into some more of the Cosmere, which is like Warbreaker and Mistborn and that kind of stuff. So I started to understand the concept and like the idea behind the whole universe. And I tried Way of Kings again. And this is the thing. I have done audio book for all of his stuff. And that has been so much more helpful because I just can't stay focused if it's a physical book. So I really did like Way of Kings. And then so I'm happy to start the second one now. I do like it. I'm starting to understand some memes that I thought, I'm like, I don't know what that's referring to, because that definitely did not happen in the first book. Not that I need to read books to understand memes, but I've just seen some things where I'm like, what is that even referring to? And now I'm seeing it. I'm starting to understand what those are. So I'm like 34% into that. I also started that Dungeon Crawler Carl book, which I think it was a recommendation from one of our reading sprints. Someone who was in here recommended that or was talking about that. And I'm like 30 some odd percent into that. And that book just keeps like surprising me. Like I was kind of skeptical about it when I started. I was like, oh, we'll see if I like this. And it's actually a book that I am enjoying and that I think is going to be a good gift idea for my husband. I think he would like that book. And then I'm reading something else. Am I reading something else? No.
Yeah.
Apples. So I have 3 books going, but I have 2 that I'm supposed to be reading, which are Serum and Angels and Demons.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get those started probably tomorrow. It must have been you then, Andy. You must have mentioned it. So if you're all the way to book 7, they must be good. The only thing, so I have really been enjoying the book. The only thing that's like bothering me is so I don't want to do like too many, I don't want to like spoil anything, but so you'll understand this. So what's bothering me is how certain things or people are being reanimated to be part of this game or whatever. That's really sad to me. And I get that, like, we're probably going to understand more of that later. And I'm assuming he's going to rebel against that because obviously it's terrible. But so if you remember from the first book, the first neighborhood boss that he fights, when they were speaking and they were speaking in Spanish, I like looked up the translation and I was like, okay, I gotta set this book down for a little while. Like I was so saddened by like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad about this. This is so sad. So that's the only thing that's really kind of like I wasn't expecting. I thought it was gonna be more fun, and like it's got a lot of stuff for you to think about, and it's doing a good job of it. Like it's really making you think about things, and so but that really came out of left field for me. So yeah. Anywho, that's one thing that because like when I pick up a book and I think it's just gonna be fun, and then all of a sudden there's like real like stuff that's like affecting me emotionally, I'm like, dang it. But it is very good. Don't get me wrong, it is very good. So yeah, so I have to get into this one right here. I think it's going. But yeah, it's okay.
I know.
I do have a bookmark, so I did read it at some point, so there is a bookmark in there. But I'll have to put this back. Oh, this is a really cute bookmark. Got little gnomes on there. And I even have a bookmark in on my tree.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta get that one going. Probably tomorrow or Thursday.
Yeah.
So that we have our check-in on Friday, I think.
I put bookmarks in every single chapter.
Good.
2 years ago when I first got this. So yeah. Not that I've started.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Excuse me. I really hate this chair I'm sitting in. So it's like a desk chair. So it's not like a chair you can like cozy in. And I'm like, it's the basement. So I'm like chilly. So I'm trying to like have my feet under me, but like there's not enough space for my whole butt and legs situation. So I'm like falling off this chair at the same time. It's really making me mad. But anyways. Oh, yay.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I chatted with you a little bit in my comments, Mary, but so I'm starting it now, but the videos for summaries will start in April. So you have plenty of time if you don't have time for it now. I'm going to be starting to post the chapter summaries starting in April. So you have plenty of time to read that if you're looking to. Yes. Yep. So like just like I did with London with each week having a chapter summary, I'm going to do the same exact thing for Serum. But again, it'll just start in April. So I'm starting to read it now so that I have time to like do reread so that I can give you guys proper summaries. But yes. Yeah, you bet. Absolutely. Thanks for joining me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so those are like the books that I'm focused on in January. And then I do have a project that I need to get started, so I should probably pick one of those books soon. So I don't want to leave that all to the end. But yeah.
If you did audio for a lot of those, because they're shorter, you get through them pretty quickly. Quite a few of them.
Yeah, I try just because of the way, like the time that I have. Audiobooks have been extremely helpful. Even with this, like, even though I have the physical book and I stay in with it, it's nice to have the audio for it because sometimes I just can't physically sit down with a book.
Yeah.
That's what's been really great about Brandon Sanderson. Every time I go at the end of the night and I start making dinner for my kids, I turn the audiobook on and I get them dinner, I get them settled, then they're eating, then I go and I clean up all the kitchen stuff. And yeah, so it's a good like hour and a half of just being able to listen to that. And then I usually go and sit down with them and whatever they're watching on TV, I'm just listening to an audiobook because I don't care about what, SpongeBob is doing. So, but then too, if like we're hanging out and we're not doing anything particular, then I can pull out my phone and look at my Kindle app. And that's how I've been reading the Carl book. And then this Apple's, I don't know where I was plugging that in, but I got a pretty good chunk here done. So I must have been reading that before. Yeah, once I got the Brandon Sanderson book, then I paused on this because I figured I'd wait until our reading sprints to finish that. But Mary said I bought Lady Susan because I liked the synopsis. Yeah, but a lot of people say that it's really good and picked up Mansfield Park. I have not read either of those, but I do have on my list this year to read Northanger Abbey because of her like main novels. I have not read Northanger Abbey or Mansfield Park. So I'm excited to get to those. So hopefully they're good and you enjoy them. I think I have Lady Susan in the copy that I have, because I think the copy I have of Northanger Abbey is in Oxford Classics, and I think Lady Susan is in there. So maybe I'll read that too. Yeah. But I don't think it's big. I don't think it's long. And that's epistolary, isn't it?
It's unfinished, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's funny, the last book of last year, the Jane Austen book that we read, the nonfiction. It's funny because like not a very pleasing book. I mean, I wouldn't say I enjoyed reading it, but like I keep thinking about like a ton of facts that we learned from there. So like, was it all that bad? No, but like it's just funny because it's like books that you don't necessarily like. Sometimes you often like recall more of. And I think it's because you have that visceral reaction of like, I don't like this book.
Yeah.
And then you tend to remember more.
Yeah. And it was so much just like piddly, detailed, granular information. You're sort of like, oh my God, when is this going to end? And then all of a sudden there'd be an interesting like 4-sentence paragraph. You're like, oh, hey, wait a second. Oh, never mind. It's more boring crap again. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, like I recently went through a bunch of my books and I have so many Jane Austen like books, like retellings and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I got Jane Austen coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
I just saw one the other day. I was like, oh, that looks no, I can't read that right now. I gotta focus on other things.
Yeah.
Just like bespelling Jane Austen.
And yeah.
I don't know. It was something. I was like, oh man, that looks good. But I'm like, nope. I got other stuff to read. I gotta look at this right now.
That's like 4 short stories, so that might be okay because each one's different, based on a different book. But yeah, I know what you mean.
You must have given that to me or something.
Yeah, I bought a second copy, and I was like, shit. Here, Danny, here, have one of these. Because yeah, I have shelves full of Jane Austen spinoffs and related things, and oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Too funny. Oy, oy, oy.
Them and the
Is there like a book that you know you're gonna read this year that you're like really excited to read?
I don't think so. I mean,
like your most anticipated book of the year?
Nothing's coming to mind, really. The newest edition of one of my favorite mystery series is published in February, I think. That's the Hamish Macbeth series by MC Beaton / R.W. Green, because MC Beaton died a few years ago. So that's coming out next month, but that's not like I'm champing at the bit to get to it. Like, I know it'll be good and I'm excited to read it, but it's not like, I don't know. Yeah, nothing really. I mean, I'm not massive on no releases except for mystery series, really. So, not really. What about you? Anything?
You know, I'm not like huge into new books because I don't pay attention to, like, you are my news source for new books. And when you give me the one page or whatever it's called from book page from the library, so I really don't really know too much about new books.
Yeah.
Now, if Deborah Harkness is publishing a new book in her All Souls series, maybe I would be really excited about that. I don't know if that's coming out this year though.
Yeah,
I feel like it might, but I can't remember. I know last time I checked, she did not have a date yet.
Okay.
Also, the third book in the Fae and Alchemy series by Callie Hart is coming out this year, which
That's crazy.
I know, would normally be excited about that because it's like, it was like boom, 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 like one year, the next year. But the thing is I was pretty disappointed by this last book.
Yeah.
Just based on, like, not disappointed in her, but the publishing. I felt like it was kind of like jacked. And if you know anything about that, I mean, you can go and find whole threads on the interwebs about that, but I don't know. But like, I'm just happy that it is only a trilogy, so like I can get this done. So that's coming out in November. And that's it. Like, I don't think Rebecca Yarros is putting out another in her series because, you know, she's taking a break. So we're not going to see that this year for the Fourth Wing saga that she was a trilogy. Now it's five books. So we're waiting on number 4 and 5. But I don't think we're getting that this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really like, I don't really follow a lot of new books. I mean, out of the books that I know I'm going to read this year, no. Even the challenge that I have that I haven't really mentioned because I'm kind of keeping it under wraps until I announce it. I'm not like excited to read those books.
Yeah.
They just need to get read. But maybe like, because I've had it for a while, I got it for my birthday, but this last year is the second book of that Spell Shop series.
Yeah.
I bet that'll be fun to read.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could be happy about that.
Yeah.
Mary's excited about My Name is Barbara, and the Tracy Hall's 8th book in her Scottish series comes out this summer.
Oh, nice.
Do you know what that is? Tracy Hall?
Yeah, I can see a cover in my head, but that's unhelpful because I can't read the words in it in my brain. But like the general covers, yes.
I like Scottish series. Let me
Mhm.
see. Tracy Hall. Murder Shire. Sounds amazing.
You froze for a second. What was it?
Oh, sorry. Murder in a Scottish Shire is the first book in the series. I can show you.
Thanks. Yeah, maybe it's a different Scottish series. Maybe I'm thinking of the Paige Shelton Scottish series.
It looks super cute. It's got a little Scotty on the cover.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Good rating too.
I should get back to more cozy mysteries. Those were my bread and butter for such a long time. And then I got into romance, and that was my like backup, always in the background running. But I should get back to some cozies.
Yeah, I mean cozies have a certain element of romance. There's sometimes a little underlying that, takes a couple books to get through, but it's usually cute. And I just like, the thing I like about cozies is like you can solve the crime along the way because they're usually, I mean, somewhat predictable. Yeah.
You can pick at least one bad guy, Nice. Very nice. I wish I could do that too. I mean, I really wish my brain would let me do that, I should say.
Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I don't get hyped about books. I mean, I think I was most hyped about books back when like Harry Potter was coming out, because like I was at the midnight like selling of that always. Twilight, Hunger Games. I mean, I lived through some good series being released. Like, I mean, obviously now we still have these things where we're waiting on things, but it didn't feel like anything like it felt like back then.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have the internet. Half the world, like there's all these people that got arcs, so you have all these reviews already. I mean, you really had to look at the publications that did reviews, or maybe bloggers if there is blogging.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like where you got real like the adrenaline rush, and now it's kind of like, yeah, I'll just wait until everyone stopped talking about it.
Yeah. I know. The only author I haven't read her in a little while, Sarah McLean. She has written typically historical romance. She's like my age, but her first adult fiction book comes out, I think, this summer. So I'm curious about that, but I might not get it right away. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something really obvious that I'll think of in like 2 hours when I'm trying to go to sleep. They'll pop in my head like, oh yeah, that one, Laura, you dummy. But all I can think of right now is really the Hamish Macbeth. And then there'll be another Agatha Raisin, same authors, that will be in the fall, usually like September, October. So.
Yeah. I hardly ever even know about it. Like, I didn't even know Dan Brown wrote a new Robert Langdon until I was at Costco one day, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? And then I was super excited because, of course, I mean, I'm like, well, I have to have that. So,
yeah.
But I mean, I don't follow stuff close enough, which is hilarious. I mean, I have a booktube channel. I talk about books, but I'm a backlisted reader. I don't read a lot of new stuff unless I make an effort to. So that's just me.
Yeah, I've always known
But
about what's going on, what's happening, like series names and like titles. I could pick it out and stuff, and stuff I have never read and would never read, but I just like know this stuff. I just watched lots of things even before BookTube was a thing. I always knew like two of my friends, well, three of my friends worked at Barnes and Noble, and we'd all meet for book club together, and I would be rattling off titles and authors and series numbers of books that they couldn't remember, that they didn't realize were in the store. And I'm like, oh no, that released last Tuesday. That's coming out, blah, blah, blah. No, this other thing there. I was like, how do you know this? I'm not quite sure how I would know it, but I just like, I, I don't, it's useless information because I don't even use it for myself. But I just keep up to date with that stuff. And then read everything backlist or like, 3-4 years ago, or like I said, it's a lot of mystery series that are very long running. So I don't know. It is a useless skill, like all of my other
are
skills.
all grateful for it.
Oh God.
Oh, thank you, Frozen. There you go.
Yeah. All my skills are
Anywho.
pretty useless. That's all right.
Well, on that note, let's do a sprint, and I'm feeling like maybe it's the last one for tonight.
Yeah, I gotta work tomorrow morning.
Yeah. So we'll do our 25 sprint. So we'll say it's the 10. So we'll come back at 35 and we'll say our goodbyes. If we lose you between now and coming back and saying goodnight, we are so thankful that you're here. Don't forget to run over to our community tab and vote in for February's picks.
Yep.
And those new products that I mentioned are going to drop on Friday if you're interested in that. That's just on our Etsy shop. And I think that's it. But yeah, so if you happen to leave, looks like Mary's hopping out. No worries. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you next time. But yeah, thank you for being here and chatting with us, and we enjoy all of you so very much. We're excited for this 5th season of the book club. So anywho, let's go ahead and start the sprint, and we'll see you if we see you at the end. Otherwise, good night and happy reading. Probably do. I got up to chapter 26, so I'm 45% done.
That's great.
Yeah, good start. Early in the month. Should be able to get it done by the time we have our discussion.
Yeah, you got a few weeks to go.
Yeah. Wait until the last minute because it's chunky.
I know.
How'd you do?
Good. I finished the Mid-Georgian Britain book. So I picked up People Who Meet on Vacation, and I got 40 pages read, I think.
Are you feeling better about it at all?
Yeah, I am. It's
good.
A little more, I'm getting used to the rhythm a little bit more, like the jumping in time from like this summer, the current summer, to 12 years ago, to this summer, to 10 years ago, to 5 years ago, to 11 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
Used to that back and forth a little more. And they're finally like on the trip together, like the vacation and the title together. So yeah, it is better. I'm feeling a little more hopeful about it and a little less womp womp, you know.
That's good.
Yeah. Anybody else here still? I'm guessing
there's a few with us. Yeah. No one's mentioned anything of what they're reading, but it's always nice when like you start a book because that like I was never a DNFer.
Mm-hmm.
I always like read the book. And if I did DNF, like I didn't know that was a term until BookTube. So like it was always like, oh, I just put it on the shelf and like I'll read it later. Like I didn't really know. I didn't really consider like, oh, a DNF. Like,
yeah.
But now that I read more intentionally and I know that I don't want to waste my time, it's funny because like I still have that like almost FOMO of like, but wait, maybe I'm not far enough in to like really, like you mentioned, like the momentum, like you're under, like, so I'm always, I'm terrible. Like, I feel like if it's bad enough, like the writing is bad and it's just like all over the place, then I'll DNF earlier. But like, I try to get at least halfway through a book before I'm like, okay, I'm not going to read this book.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that it turned around for you.
Yeah, I'm glad it did too. I know I had a hard time DNFing, like after college especially. And then the Pearl rule came around. Nancy Pearl got really popular. What was that, like 23 years ago, something like that? Do you know who Nancy Pearl is? I was realizing, okay. So she is a maybe not so famous librarian. She worked in, I think it was Seattle or in Portland, Oregon, over there someplace. A librarian of many years. And she has a rule, Pearl rule for her last name, that you read 50 pages of any book, at least to give it a try, see what you think of it. And if you're over 50, I think that's what it is, then you subtract that however many years you're over 50 from that 50. So if you are 60 years old, you give that book 40 pages before you stop, because there's so many books to read. And if you give a book 40 pages and you're 60 years old, there's other stuff out there that you might like more. So like that's the Pearl rule. It's 50 pages or less depending on your age. And I'm getting close to 50. Like I don't like I'm getting close to 50. It's fine. I'm taking it. I don't want the other thing to be, an option, but still it's getting closer. So then I started doing that all the time. Like would get to 50 and be like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Or I'd get there and I think, okay, I'll go. And then I get another 50 and I think, no, I'm not doing this anymore. So I got more used to it. I started doing the Pearl rule more often, and that was really helpful. So I just did that from then on, kind of give it 50, or if I feel like I'm almost there, try a little more, talk to some friends, see if they had read it. And yeah.
I tend to like, when I start to like go, what am I reading? Mm-hmm. I usually go to the reviews, and like if there's enough really bad one star reviews, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and be done with it. because I don't tend to read reviews before I start reading a book because I want to go into it on my own. But yeah, if I start to if things start to go sideways, I'm like, okay, I gotta go look at the reviews. And then if there's enough, I'm like, okay. And I really don't take 5-star reviews. I take those with a grain of salt because half the time, like if you go in right now and you look up like Rebecca Yaros's 4th book, there's already reviews in there. It's not even done. It's not even written. And there's 5-star reviews in there.
Yeah.
So I take those with a grain of salt when they're just like, oh, best book ever. Did you read it? Or are you just pumping the thing? You're just pumping it up.
Right.
So, but yeah, those 1-star reviews, those are from the heart.
Yeah. I know if I'm confused about something or if I'm reading a book and I feel like I'm not getting it, like usually I'm pretty good about getting on the train that is the book and then just enjoying wherever it takes me, whatever that is. I don't really necessarily have a lot of preconceived notions about where stuff would go, with some exceptions. But generally, I just see where it takes me and whatever it is fine. But sometimes if I'm reading it, I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. I'm confused. Then I will go look for some like middle of the road reviews or look for certain like names. If like a certain character is confusing me, like look for a name in a review and be like, what are they saying about this? But yeah, I just sort of whatever it is. And I know a lot of people, when they're trying to find a book to read or they're starting a book, they go to Goodreads and they look at the star rating, and that's what makes them decide to read it or not. I would just never do that. Because like you said, there's so many 5 stars people that have gotten arcs or hype it up before it's even written. And then there's so many 1 stars people who just hate everything. So like that just doesn't really matter so much to me. If I think I'll enjoy it, I'll give it a shot. I look at it and I go, oh, that's interesting. Like, but that's as far as it goes. I don't go like, oh, it's a 3.3. I'm not going to read this. This is a bad rating.
Oh yeah, I never consider that because it's and you have to understand like how many reviews is that, because some books have more reviews than other books. I don't like to do it because a lot of the reviews have spoilers. Like even when they say that there's no spoilers, I mean they're full of spoilers because I mean you just can't help it when you're talking about something. I'm terrible about it. Like I think I'm not giving spoilers, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I guess you wouldn't really know that unless you knew. Like, so I just whatever. But yeah, no, I usually look at the reviews when I'm done with a book. So yeah,
I scroll.
Even when we like pick up our stuff and we look at the Goodreads, like yeah, we see that star rating. I don't even look at it. I don't remember half of it, and then I certainly don't read the reviews.
Yeah.
So.
I look to see if someone I've read or I know that I'm friends with has read it before. There's a few friends I have that I haven't met in real life, but I've known them for decades online. And they write reviews for so many things, almost everything. So I'm like, oh, does Richard have a review? Let's see what Richard has to say. Like, I look for that kind of stuff, and that stuff I'll read. But everything else, I usually don't even bother.
Yeah. I like when when I do eventually get to the review. And I scroll down and I see someone that I'm friends with on there, and if they're like on par with what I do, I'm like, yes, go team. And then sometimes we're like on this opposite ends. I'm like, what the heck? What book did they read?
Yeah.
So, but anywho, it's getting to be pretty late here. So I think we're gonna call it a night. Want to thank everyone for being here and chatting with us. We hope you had a nice time and that you're getting excited about the new year. If you happen to be reading along with us, we are reading Liane Moriarty's Apples Never Fall. So we'll get to our live discussion of that. I believe it's the 27th, so the last Tuesday of the month. If you're interested in joining us in February, we do have that poll up in our community tab, so you are able to vote for that currently. So that will be open until the 19th. And you'll find out in our live discussion what the winner is. And I do post on Instagram. And if you are in our Voxer group, you'll find out there as well. Earlier than the live stream, that is. So anywho, thanks again for being here. Anything I missed, Laura?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming and chatting and reading and all the things. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Bye.